Lemon Lad, the Sour Cyborg, and Noelios, Edenia's Australian Prince. Both players are lucrative, well-renowned content creators, powerful in their own way, and straight out of the Australian borders. But who is truly the top dog in this deadly matchup? My name is Combo God Gaming, and it's my job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skill to find out who would win a death battle. Born across the Australian borders in the mid to late 90s, young Gus grew up to become a lighthearted individual about most things. He grew up on classic Mortal Kombat arcade games from a very young age, and has very much been drawn to the concept of utilizing projectiles in combat, ever since Mortal Kombat mythologies when he played Sub-Zero. He was drawn to the idea of using projectiles as a way to establish control in fights, and this mindset stuck with him throughout his competitive journey in the FGC. At some point, Gus decided to take competing in the fighting game community a bit more seriously with the release of Mortal Kombat 11. He had an extremely competitive mentality, but suffered from poor defense. However, by interacting with a group of more skilled players than himself, in tandem with months of personal training, he became one of the Oceanic region's best players, Lemon Lad. Lemon Lad is one of, if not the most defensive player in the NetherRealm Studios competitive scene. His main character is Robocop, and he utilizes the tools and moveset of this character to perfect his signature playstyle, which the official CCL databook names Supai Bogyo, which roughly translates to the Sour Defense. Supai Bogyo is an advanced bare-bones neutral zoning hybrid that Lemon Lad took 7 months to master. He perfectly calculates every single fundamental defensive option and combines it with the zoning tools of Robocop to create an unbreakable wall that leaves a sour taste in the mouths of anyone that tries to apply pressure to him. Airborne tilting, Korean backdashing, wave dashing, flawless walk reversals, retreating staggers, and so much more are critical pinpoints in Lemon Lad's personal playbook. This playstyle can be amplified and applied to multiple characters, but his use of Robocop gives it a very unique visual experience. For general zoning, Robocop has his low and high Auto 9 pistols for anti-airs and space control, missile launchers and rocket ejectors to apply pressure from a distance, and his OCP charge for an advancing attack that's safe on block and breaks armor. However, Robocop has 3 unique moves that Lemon Lad uses whenever he has to get in. He has the Flamethrower move that acts as a restand with incredible plus frames for high level pressure, a high damage command grab with 3 different true ticks, and the Poison Trap, Lemon Lad's trump card ability. With the Poison Trap, he can obscure the movements of his opponent and create a legendary setup for high damage combos. The setups are incredibly hard to execute and can only be performed if the opponent is severely conditioned, which is the ultimate goal of Supai Bogyo. To be crowned the best defensive player in the entire NRS community, you have to accumulate quite a substantial amount of feats. This guy was able to destroy top 8 finalists in various prize pools across the world. He's defeated the likes of Subisube, Soul's Crew, and even Wazumaru, the strongest content creator in the NRS community. However, Lemon Lad does have a few opportunities for countermeasure in his playstyle. For one, his playstyle, while incredibly high court, is rooted in a very simplistic core base. Put simply, he utilizes his zoning tools as a way to even a playing field and force a grounded bare-bones class of fundamentals. But if his opponent has more fundamental understanding and patience than himself, he actually sets himself up for failure. Furthermore, Robocop is a very unsafe character with a multitude of gaps and loopholes in his offense. This is the main reason why he plays defensive in the first place. Every attempt he makes at dealing damage is a high-risk, low-reward situation. Lastly, Lemon Lad enjoys drag-out plays and time-consuming tech. Characters that can delete a health bar and end rounds quickly are like kryptonite to him. Individuals who can exploit multiple weaknesses in the heat of battle could make quick work of Lemon Lad. He even once stated in quotes, "For every 1 set I've gotten on Waz, he's gotten 10 on me." With that being said, Lemon Lad is a competitive mastermind who endures any hardship to achieve his goals. He might very well be the greatest Robocop player in the entire world.
You are under arrest, dirtbag.
Noelios is a very unique individual in the Combo God community, and part of the reason for that is because of how little information we have on him. But we'll do our best. Born in the late 90s, Noelios grew up on the mature violence of Mortal Kombat games and fell in love with the Edenian princess, Kitana. He enjoys everything about Mortal Kombat's aesthetic and has been competitive with the games ever since. By the time he got to Mortal Kombat 11, he had completely mastered Kitana Khan's movements and playstyle. Noelios has mastered a combination of linear adjacent battle tactics to unleash the supreme Edenian playstyle, the Edenian Force. Kitana has 3 Edenian Force forms: Anchachaburo Furata, Amirasai, and Otori Hanbai. Anchachaburo Furata is all about controlling the friction of the match using aerial mobility. Using her signature fan flutter and ground war, Kitana can reversal punish, dodge, and counter high-speed sequences from opponents, and enlist knockdown pressure to exacerbate the opponent's wake-up options for full combos. This playstyle is Kitana at her most evasive and most damaging. Aimina Sai is more methodical, focusing on full-screen projectile jailing to elicit frustration and hasty movement. This is probably Kitana at her most defensive. Otori Hanbai is a high-risk, high-reward rushdown playstyle, utilizing low and overhead strikes to circumvent the defensive mechanics of the opponent, reducing reactions, dulling movement, and turtling up the opponent. This allows Kitana to unleash very powerful setups and or pressure. Kitana is at her most aggressive in this state. Considered to be the best Edenian player in the Eastern Pacific, Noelios has defeated some of the strongest warriors in the Combo Heaven community. More importantly, he's gone toe-to-toe with Princess AMK and Koizi, the most powerful Edenian player in the world. This player's only notable weakness is his lack of competitive experience. Despite being revered in the NRS scene, Noelios has never fought in a single competitive event a day in his life. Moreover, he focuses far more on making content rather than improving his own skills as a player. With that being said, Noelios' persevering nature and desire to be seen in the community is his true strength at the end of the day. Noelios is a pillar in the NRS scene. Alright guys, the fighters are ready and the stage is set. We've run the data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle.
I know nothing of Outworld.
Then let me educate you, son.
You may begin.
Round 1. Fight!
obey the law.
Round 2, fight.
Alright combo crew, let's break this fight debate down, because there's a lot to unpack. Noelios was unable to exploit Lemonlad's weakness to fast-paced characters, because Kitana is a rather slow-moving character herself. She executes with passion and grace. Short and sweet isn't her style. More unfortunately, Noelios' lack of competitive experience made it impossible to consistently break through Lemonlad's defenses. Luckily, Lemonlad can't unleash enough tactical offense to keep Kitana away for an extended period. Noelios would always get in sooner or later. Ultimately, this fight came down to who was stronger, faster, smarter, and more powerful overall. So, let's calculate the official stats of Lemonlad and compare them directly to Noelios. Lemonlad's strongest character is Robocop. This character has various zoning tools and a slightly above average setup toolkit. In particular, his flamethrower and command grab combination, coupled with poison trap, is very strong even at the highest level of play. This character complements Lemon's playstyle at an 80% rate, and his mastery of the character is at around 95%. Ultimately, however, he isn't as impressive in terms of raw strength compared to his peers. When taking his sets in Rap's arena into consideration, Lemonlad's maximum strength stat is at high level, around a 7 out of 10. The speed of a player is calculated and measured by observing mastery of 5 unique movement-based fundamentals: strike reversal, micro movement, wave dashing, fuzzy guarding, and flawless blocking. Understanding these will allow us to calculate a player's attack, reaction, and running speed. Lemonlad has mastered flawless blocking, but due to the stubbiness of the character, his other movements are sluggish at best. This evens him out at an average casual, a 5 out of 10. Lemonlad has competed in various online and offline events with high prestige. He has experience fighting amongst the strongest players in the world. His experience and knowledge of the game is easily at the pro level, 9 out of 10. By analyzing the frequency of his fighting style and grouping it into fundamental forms of offense and defense, we can calculate his full power numerically. For offense, there's rushdown, strike throw, ticks, mix-ups, and neutral. For defense, there's fuzzy guarding, flawless blocking, evasive wave dashing, and parrying. Lemonlad's offensive capabilities are surprisingly above average. He has true ticks, pro-level neutral, and rushdown based setups. He's skilled enough to tag pro players like Waz with it anyway. His defense, however, is where he truly begins to shine. All of his defensive stats are off the charts. Being able to shimmy players like Waz or make players like Desarted whiff is no small feat. I'm in fact lowballing by staging Lemonlad as a pro-level defensive player, 9 out of 10, and a high-level offensive player, 7 out of 10. Now that we have Lemonlad's stats, it's time to calculate Noelios. Kitana is a low-damage, neutral-based character. She needs to edge out her opponent and kill them gracefully. This defensive counterattack design means that Kitana players almost never have the upper hand in strength. It's a constant uphill battle. Even with pure mastery, Noelios' strength stats up to as above average as you can get, 6 out of 10. Noelios has just frame fan flutter tech. Being able to consistently execute advanced aerial mobility tech like that easily places her stats high. His flawless blocking skills are above average, and his reversal speed, micro movement, and dashing are at the pro level. Being able to keep up with the running speed of a player like KHD or Princess AMK is no small feat. Overall, his speed stats are semi-pro, 8 out of 10. Noelios has a lot of ranked experience, but he rarely tests his skills against someone just as powerful as him. It's often once in a blue moon, and it holds back his player experience. However, Combat League has been able to sharpen his mind some. Overall, he's above average, 6 out of 10. Noelios is not the greatest person at guarding or predicting the offense of an opponent. With the exception of flawless blocking on a hard read, defense is his weakest suit. His offense is usually where his skills shine the brightest. He applies all of Kitana's Edenian force forms in constant succession, making his offense versatile and dynamic. Overall, his offense is a high level 7 out of 10, and his defense is average at a 5 out of 10. Now, once you compare the stats of both players right next to each other, the outcome of the fight makes a lot more sense. Noelios was incapable of breaking Lemon Lad's defenses while also being vulnerable to his offense. This means that every time he tried to get in, he put himself in a grave risk. It was do or die for Noelios, and unfortunately, he died. This fight was sweet, and then it was sour. The winner is Lemon Lad. Next time on Death Battle.